motherfucking knockout where the truth don't get blocked out.
Yes, sir. You know the fucked up part about this? For some reason, like it deleted all my little apps, like my little added sound effects I had to it, like the clapping, the songs I put on.
Yeah.
It got like the original, but it don't have the ones that we put. I don't know why it did that.
Damn. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Man, disrespect.
This shit, man. Welcome to the knockout. It's your two hosts, the one and only, the great KIG and Prince Savage.
Already.
Shit been fucked up. We had to take a little sabbatical for a month, but we back and running. We still going through shit, but we just letting God push through. Like we were supposed to do this last week, but here we is today.
Hell yeah. Shit, I tell you what, though, I know everybody going through with all the news going around lately.
Right.
Oh my
It look
wow.
like the
Just my furniture. Yeah, man. It's been crazy. I know it's been crazy for Prince. Shit. Fucking everything going on. I know it's been crazy for everybody in the world.
yeah, shit been just too wild. I don't know. Do you watch Power Book?
Yeah, I fuck with the power shows.
Did you see the one last night or today?
Nah, don't say nothing either, nigga, cause I watched that shit. The last one I seen is when old girl fucking set her mom up with the DEA agent, and then the mom, Monet, whatever, turned around and shot the nigga in the house, and she like cleaning shit up. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that was the one last week. The new one just came out today. Well, I watched it this morning because I got a special plug or whatever, but it's out. The new one is out today. The one following that one.
Hell yeah, you fucking. I saw your post talking about how someone fucking got murked and shit. I'm like, damn, bro, why you leaking out information?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say it though.
I already know is fucking Lorenzo got killed.
How you know that?
Because like the internet's a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even be looking for it, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, Lorenzo ass is gone. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck?
That shit broke my heart. That was like one of the OGs dying right in front of you though. I was mad. My girls, it's just a show, but no, it's more than a show. It's real life.
Yeah,
This shit happened.
Cause whatchamacallit, dude and his dad, Kane, whatever, finally just made up and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, Dad, I ain't gonna say nothing to mom. But fucking, I think Monet killed his ass. Like they were talking about who killed Lorenzo. Like that, you know how like YouTube be having like thumbnails.
Yeah.
It was like who killed Lorenzo. I'm like, fuck, I ain't even see the episode. Now I know this nigga's dead and shit. But I already know it's Monet. I already know.
You still gotta watch it. I'm not gonna get too into it. It's in depth. Like she didn't do it, but she did do it. Or she was involved, but she didn't. She said she wasn't going to. Like he tells her that he did it. You have to just watch it. It's still crazy. Even though you know that, there's still so much to the story that will just blow your mind. Like,
well, the only reason I go there is because on the episode I watched, like the very end, she goes through the fucking paperwork that that homeboy had. He's like, did you know?
Mm.
She was like, did you know that Lorenzo was there at the shooting with Lil Zeke or whatever? And fucking like then and then like nah. And then like she hugs Lorenzo, and then the camera like focuses on her face. So it's like they already foreshadowing that shit about to pop off.
Mm. Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. That hurt my spirit when that happened. I was like, God damn. Lorenzo reminds you of like an uncle, nigga. Your favorite uncle type shit. Or even though, like, cause I'm Dominican, so the fact that he's Dominican, it's like there's a special bond there, nigga. Like, why you gotta kill the OG, bro? Killing people's daddies.
I
My
tell you
daddy's sitting up here sick, and it's I don't know.
that power shows, man. Like I almost had to like detach myself from it because it frustrates me. Like you watch the episode, I'm like, I can't take it no more. Like I want this shit to
Yeah.
be about power and like uplifted. It's more like a fucking fight between fucking your morals and police and shit. Like every time the police like get evidence, I get mad as fuck. I'm like, fuck, man. Like why they have to find evidence and shit like that?
Right.
So like I don't know, but I'm like, all right, nigga, this is just fucking make believe. It's not based off a true story. Stop getting. I'm like, I gotta like check myself. Like nigga, like, it's not even that serious. Like calm down. I be like, fuck,
But,
man, fuck this fucking police bitch. Someone kill this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
but you get so in depth, you get so in deep into it. It's kind of hard not to. It's
Man,
hard not to like damn, especially like when you come from street life. So it's all a strong familiarity, familiar. Uh, and it's like, no, I never had no DEA working with me and shit like that. But it's like I know people who wasn't deep in it like that, and it just brings you back like, nigga, if this is back in the day, I would move like this. Like when you watching the show, that's what I be doing. Nigga, I would have moved like this. I would have moved like that. They should have did this. Nigga, why did y'all just do that? And that's when you get sucked into it, like. You making the wrong moves, and you know what they should be doing, and sometimes they do moves that you didn't even think of. Like, oh, okay, that was a smart plot twist, but you get sucked in just because when you was once somewhat in a lifestyle like that, it's like, nigga, y'all should have just did that. I don't know why you did that shit.
man, for real. Yeah. So I don't know. That's one thing I'm like. So it makes the show like easier to watch. Cause I'm like, whatever. I ain't even
Mm.
tripping. But shit, I don't. This should be fucking me up. Like what's call it? What was it when fucking little Tariq? He's like, oh, that little that building that supported his sister. That nigga was
Mm.
so quick to like sell it all for that little company internship. I'm like, damn, nigga, like what the fuck? Like I get it. It's a chess piece that you can move, but like to give it up so easy and shit. I'm like, damn, like didn't you care about Raina? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't know if the show's trying to like show the change of fucking Tariq or whatever, but it's funny because what's that saying? Apple don't far fall from the tree. That show is
Mm.
emulating that like a motherfucker.
Oh God.
Because look, if you think about it, they setting that nigga up right because they got because Ghost had a girl back then, and then he had his gangster bitch that he married, and she knew the hustle, right? All of a sudden,
Mm.
Tariq, he got that boozy bitch who ain't dead, which we all found out this season and shit. She ain't dead. She in the house somewhere. But then he got his little gangster bitch who he gonna do anything for. But once he
Right.
finds out that his little boo thing's alive, that nigga gonna turn right into ghost actions. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be like, fuck you. I'm trying to get back with her. But she don't like him because he try to kill him. It's gonna be all fucked up.
No, he found out this episode. They met up again.
Oh no, don't tell me anymore. I feel like I'm missing out on everything.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This episode like really showed a lot, and I don't know what you just said could happen, but he didn't turn on Effie just yet. But he do feel some type of way about finding out that he found out that because was you in on it? No, I was. What the fuck? And even the detective was like, Tariq didn't try to kill her. He loved her, and that's when she came out like, is what he's saying is true. So now Lauren turned on that one white bitch who's a fucking cop or whatever the fuck she is. I forgot her name.
Yeah, she giving out pussy for evidence. I hate that.
Yeah, that stupid weirdo ugly bitch. So she was because she tried to turn it on Tariq like he was involved, but even the detective that she was fucking on, he pulled to the house and he was like, Tariq had nothing to do with that. And then Lauren was like, I even told you had nothing to do with that. That was Effie who did that. Tariq wasn't there. So then Tariq and Lauren meet up again, and Tariq mind blown like, nigga, you supposed to be dead. You just got to see the shit like. And then he sees Effie again. I don't know, like what you said. It's still too early to tell because there's like 5 more episodes left. So it could happen, but as of right now, he's still because he loves Effie now too.
But that's the thing though. They setting him up to be just like Ghost. It's like Ghost Jr. You know what I'm saying? You know how Ghost was. That nigga didn't show emotions until it was a one-on-one in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like when Tyreek got more than 2 people in the room, he's emotionless. But when it's just like a one-on-one situation, he be letting the anger come out or the whatever come out or like, you know what I'm saying? But when he's in a room with more than like a crowd, whatever you want to call it, 3 is a crowd type shit, that nigga be straight face, poker face. And that's the same shit Ghost did.
I think it's like there's an innuendo agenda. I'm talking about all the powers. Well, at least 2 out of the 3, because they got the one where the white boy went to Chicago and shit now, right? So that one, no. So look, notice in all 3 powers, right? Or at least 2 out of the 3 powers, there's a homosexual gangster in every single one. Somebody's homosexual, right? The main person in the cast kills their father.
Yeah.
And loyal to the mama. Because I don't know if you watched Raising Kanan. The mother plants in the son's head to shoot
his own dad,
but he didn't even know it was his own dad.
Yeah, that's how he knew he couldn't trust his mom and shit. Like at the campfire, because she was all negative and shit.
I think there's an agenda of homosexuality. There's an agenda of trying to make it as the father in the household ain't that important.
Damn, nigga, when you say it like that, that's deep as fuck, bro.
I do. I notice all 3 patterns. There's something of both of those in each power. And it's kind of like, I don't know if 50 Cent's a sellout. Well, he is a sellout. They all sell out eventually. But
well, the thing is, like, not only like you might be a sellout, but you gave your rights to the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave your creative rights to the motherfucker.
That too, because Asia run everything these days. They run everything on TV.
Oh yeah, and they be like, nigga, we gonna cancel your show unless you put a gay motherfucker on there, or unless you fucking add some violence, or they don't want us showing like us going through struggle.
The good side of black folks, yeah. I agree.
Like what was his name, man? I can't even think of. But nah, there's so many like real stories that happen that glorify us and uplift us, but they won't talk about that.
I mean, that's been going on since back in the day.
Yeah,
Boys in the Hood, Juice. There's always niggas killing niggas, but that's the thrill that they put out.
It's like they try to act like everything's on an even playing field, but it's really not. It's really still it's still fucked up. Like we got wealthy blacks in America, right? It's cool, but what are they doing for the other half that are not benefiting them? You know what I'm saying? Are they making for us? Like, are they
say that again?
Like we got rich, wealthy black men in America, right? You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So we got people to look up to, right? But the part is, you can tell there's still an agenda, and we're still nobodies because these niggas are not doing nothing to get us out the loop of breaking free from the agenda of what they're trying to put us in. Like there's no like Akon tried to do it, but he did that shit in Africa, and this all like fucking went to shit. Like it all because no one took care of like the water tanks they were building and all the maintenance that went into it. Because he tried to create his own little city of black wealth. Fucking
Nipsey tried it and got killed.
Yeah, what's his name? What's that nigga was he's gonna build black owned banks to use the soil and wealth of Africa, like the mining commodity for the backup for banks, but they killed his ass. And the thing is, I heard if he would have pulled through, I'm just grabbing my charger. If he would have pulled through, it would have made Africa the wealthiest country. That's why they killed him.
Hey, they don't want that.
No one's trying to replace that void.
Well, I'm thinking like, right, it's coming to a time where like a lot of things in the Bible are coming to fruition. It's coming true, right? And they know it's a 100% chance that the Earth is coming back to us, which is the indigenous, blacks, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Uh, so what they want to do, they took the knowledge, they took the knowledge away for us to know how to run the Earth. And then what they do next? They fucked up all the water. How is it we got dirty water, tainted water, but clean crack, clean fentanyl, clean coke, clean drugs, clean dope, but the
Man,
water is dirty?
speak on. Speak on.
They're tainting the world. Excuse me. They're tainting the world. So when it's time for to give it back to us, ain't nothing really to give.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's getting keep hearing shit. It's getting to a point where it's like they just trying it like it's a spiritual warfare. That's how I look at it, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like it says in the Bible. It does. Like the thing is, the games like you know how like when you watch a football game or whatever you want to call it, they tell you the score like as the play goes. Well, the Bible already got the game recorded. It's already been known. The devil
Yeah.
wins for a while, right? But the very end of the game, he loses. He knows that. But while he gets his most power, he's gonna try to take as many with him to lose.
Yeah.
Hey,
Satan has if I'm going down, you're going down with me mentality.
how do you lose something that's precious to you? You fuck up the household. So if you could break up the home to where you got either both parents working, so no one's at home raising the kid or instilling values, then what the kid gonna do? He gonna look at his phone, look at TV. He gonna get his values from the government or the system,
And social media, which is
social
exactly what they
media.
want that child to do.
Like I literally just read an article how fucking in China the TikTok algorithm. Like say if I was a kid, say I was 15, whatever, a teenager in China, right? And I go on TikTok,
Hmm.
their algorithm is to produce videos and show me videos where kids are excelling. So it shows like kids doing like master plays on piano, solving crazy mathematic equations, graduating, doing crazy martial arts techniques and learn like uplifting stuff. But in America, our algorithm is to show girls shaking their ass, motherfuckers throwing money, motherfuckers smoking
Guns, drugs,
drugs,
gangs.
right? Or the fucking crate challenge. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we don't like, and that's our algorithm. It's like you gotta look to find, someone graduating from Brown University or someone that's like helping their community and providing for the have-nots or the veterans. Like you gotta dig for that. It ain't just like pop up on your screen. So it's just like they already they I hate to say it, and with the dollar collapsing, they winning. But they don't win the war unless they win your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, long as you stay good in here, it don't matter what they do to you. It don't matter
Right.
what they do to you. You win it. Because this little life, it's a breath. Like, you only here for 80 years tops, maybe 100, whatever. But nothing compares to fucking infinity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, sometimes, like, I get worried, but then a lot of times I'm like, I ain't even tripping, you know?
I get worried just the fact of my kids got to be in this bitch ass world going through this. Like, we
Yeah.
probably got like 60 more years left, you and me, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. They got to live through it. The grandkids got to live through it. And it's just that cycle that breaks me. Like, damn. Like, I'm just at the point where I'm trying to install that to them. But it's hard because the world is pushing an agenda on kids. So literally, like, listen to parents like that.
Yeah. But the one thing, I mean, not to be an asshole, but I'm gonna be one. American spoiled. You
Yeah.
know, Like if you ever travel a different country, like people been going through way worse than what we're going through now. But it's funny how
Fact.
Americans are so quick to say things coming. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like it might, like, but it might not be for another 100 years. It might not be for another 200 years, 300 years. Just because the fall of America coming, don't mean everything's the world is ending. Just because we gonna lose our luxuries, like if you go to Turkey, if you go to Greece, if you go to South Africa or Central Africa or even Nigeria, there's a lot of places where it's fucked up. Like go to India right now. Go visit India. Them niggas they got no clean fucking water. They fucking use the sewage and fucking and they burn it and they burn it and they create the oil and they use that oil to cook with it. Like motherfuckers been living fucked up. So it's not like and it's the end of the world because they fucked up? Nah. But just because our world fucked up and our shit's falling apart, now it's the end of the world. Like to me, that's a little vain. It's like everybody is equal in God's eyes. We all his children. Just because the spoiled little brat finna lose his rights to drive his car, don't mean, you know what I'm saying? The motherfucker who never even had a car can't prosper. So like powers change every 80 years. It's been if you look at your history, you'll know your future.
Yeah.
So our time's coming up, and don't get me wrong, it's a shame and it sucks, but it's just like you gotta adapt. That's what survival is. It's adaptation. It ain't fucking looking up to your fucking government to be like, hey, save us, help us. Nah, man, you a human being. Stand strong, stand
Yeah.
10 toes. But they don't teach us that. They teach you how to become a worker, not a survivor.
That too. And then what also gets me worried is it says in the Bible, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And a lot of this new generation do not know a lick of their history. They stop teaching it in schools. Parents really these days don't know shit. They don't teach it themselves. So my thing is like that chain of them repeating it because they don't know what's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a message in the Bible where he says, my people are I want to use the right word here. I want to say doomed, but my people or a word that matches that. My people fall because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
That's what it all comes down to, knowledge. And knowledge, people think, oh, knowledge is knowing fucking, your every word in the dictionary or fucking 15 different languages. No, that's intelligence.
Yeah.
Knowledge is using information and applying it to get the best result for survival or succeed in the world. Intelligence is knowing that, but knowledge
Yeah.
is applying it. So I feel like there's a big disconnection with that. People just because fucking how the government works, don't mean it's gonna help you survive when fucking they poison all the water and shit. The shit. I don't know. I was talking to some of my family members, like just keep buying water, buy water, and stock up.
That's really the smart thing to do. You have to stock up these days. Like, you have to definitely stock up. What do you think about the dollar crashing? 'Cause I
Man,
don't see a lot of people talking about that, which is wild to me.
nigga, I knew about that shit about a month ago. And what's crazy is like I got to dig deep for it. Now everyone's talking about it, but it's just like it's just part of the reset, it's part of the plan. And what and the thing is for them to do it, for them to achieve it. Because did you hear about? I guess last week, America issued war on Russia and China, and I guess like
Yeah.
a couple days ago, China's like, all right, we with it. Like you want a war, we'll start a war with you. Fuck it. And it's because they canceling the U.S. dollar for the overall currency, and so that's why our shit's gonna drop like 67, 70%. But
Mhm.
it's one of those things where it's like you gotta look at the end game. Like, what's the reason for this? Because if you really know all these dictators and country leaders, even our own president, right? Because he got caught lying about his laptop. He got caught up.
Man.
He got caught lying about doing deals with China and fucking giving our information away. So he's just as guilty, and he the one running this shit. Like he's feeding us to the lambs of the slaughter. So if you really
Yeah.
think about it, all these niggas is underneath the same commander. You know what I'm saying? It's just like It's like say me and you and like 4 other motherfuckers, we playing a game, right? At the end, we all still win, but it's like, all right, Prince, you gonna shine. After your little time's up, then I'm gonna shine. After my time's up, he's gonna shine. We're gonna help each other all shine, but you'll be king for this era. And right now, they about to flip that shit to China. You know what I'm saying? And like if you think about it, look how many if you could research all this shit is open to public, but you could research how many production fields and how much land does China already own right now. And in the real estate's going to be the number one commodity in America, especially with the U.S. dollar crashing. It's just going to welcome all international buyers to come through, buy our shit for cheap, and rent it out to us for maximum price.
It
So,
goes back to we don't own our own resources.
nah,
Everything you see in America is made in China. It's been like that before I was even born. This is made out of China. That made in China. This made in China. This made in Ukraine. This made in India. Everything we got is made out of something else. We don't really have shit. When's the last time you seen something that was made that said made in U.S.?
shit, Ford.
that
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. But nah, and then what's crazy is this would trips me out, right? If you look at China's regulation laws, they allow slave labor, they allow child labor. And
Yeah.
you get these people who are like, "Oh, I'm all about America. I'm all about this." Then why are you doing? Why are you getting your products from China? Oh, because it saves money. Yeah, but you promoting something that's fucked up. But you know what I'm saying? And that's why the world is. Everyone's a hypocrite right now. Everybody, it's fucked up. But that's how it is. And when you're a hypocrite, it's easy to point fingers and it's easy to fucking set smoking screens and smoking mirrors and shit. Because you don't know who to blame, you don't know who to trust, and that's how they want us. I don't know. I don't know. Like all it, you know what it does. Though? It just makes me run to my Bible. That's it. Because that's the only
Which
place I
I've
can
been doing
find peace.
too.
You know, I can't find peace watching the news. That shit gonna instill fear in my heart, and God don't want you.
Yeah.
He don't want you scared. Like if you read the Bible and shit, when the Israelites had to go to war, he said, "I don't want y'all. Why y'all fear? I'm with y'all. You shouldn't be feared at all. Like there should be no fear in you." And it's like to me, like I try to install that to like right now, like if you with me and I'm with you, why are you fearful? That means you're either doing something you shouldn't be doing, or you know that I'm not with you. You know what I'm saying? Like the one thing I've come to assume, like don't get me wrong, because people talk about the Bible and like whatever, but one thing I know for sure, for a fact, is the Bible was made, and it's a history book to show the relationship with God and humans. That's really what it is. It's not like yeah, there's codes in it. Yeah, there's algorithms and all this and mystery of knowledge and wisdom. There's all that in there, right? But the main focus is to show you the relationship between man and God through these generations. And if you can't build a relationship with them, then you're gonna fail. You're gonna fall short. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up getting the mark of the beast without even knowing because of lack of knowledge.
Yep.
You know, it's like what they doing in our households. If I don't know my pops and my moms, I'm gonna have fear in my heart. Like if your dad, if when you go through school, when you go through life, and you got parents, if they say, "I got you financially," if you don't get a scholarship, you ain't worried about it. So when you get your grades back from school, whatever you're doing, or say you out with your friends, right? You get busted by police for being out late, doing a little kiss or whatever, and the police get you. You know your dad or your parents gonna come bail you out. Like that's what's nice of knowing that. But if you
Yeah.
know your parents are crackheads and they ain't gonna come get you, you scared as hell. You like, nigga, I can't get caught. I gotta get straight A's. I gotta go home and take care of my little brother because no one's gonna feed him if I don't. That's what they doing to our households, and it installs fear in us. And then what they come do, they come in like the government come through like they are parents. Well, you can get this government aid, you can get this relief, you can get this welfare, you can get all this, and then what we do, we rely on it. Oh yeah, fucking Uncle Sam's a shit. Oh, America's a shit. America go to war with anybody, I'm with them. But then you get separated from the bigger picture. Like the bigger picture is we all one race. It's called the human race. We just different shades in this motherfucker. It's all right to make a observation. Yeah, you white, I'm black, but we still the same fucking race. We got the same genes and shit. Like we all come from the same. And if you read your
Yeah.
Bible, we all come from Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? And like to be honest, I don't know the science about it because it's like it gets a little weird and it's fucked up because it's like damn, we came from two people. Like, but if you think about it, we all related. So
Yeah,
why even fight over something that doesn't it doesn't make sense? But if you instill with greed, if you instill with fucking power, if you instill with control, then you gonna categorize shit and separate shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like, I don't know. So to me, the end game of all this shit, the dollar crash and everything, it's just part of the devil's plan. You know. But if you read your Bible and you have a relationship with God, you be all right. And the thing is, death is not ugly. You know, it's only ugly if you die ugly.
yeah.
You know, if you die on the wrong side, yeah, death is ugly. It's horrible. But if you in heaven, heaven's beautiful. Like, why would you not want to go to heaven? You know,
There's no Satan in heaven. There's no war. There's no violence. There's no scrutiny. Everything's pure.
man.
Kind of makes you look forward to it.
Right, exactly. You like if you ever look at an old person that like got like cancer or whatever, they be smiling like, nah, I know I'm good. They like, I
Yeah,
can't wait, I'm chilling. They're gonna say they little goodbyes to their family like peace. They be like, you can throw my body in a dumpster because I ain't gonna need it. I ain't coming back to this raggedy body, you know. Yeah, I don't care what y'all do, you know. But it's
that's
just
a fact.
that's why right now what we need to really do is protect our souls and make sure we don't give it into the wrong hands, you know.
Yeah, before anything, like
Yeah,
we spend time like and it's due to a distraction. We spend time trying to fix this problem and fix that, fix that. We be worrying about the souls last, so I'll get to it. No, get to that now, and it will. It's a chain reaction. It will castrate on everything else that you're doing. You know what I mean?
it really
And
will.
you just have to have that faith. Like I know it'll be hard, but once you have that faith, do make everything come into fruition like so fast. Like before you even know it. Like even the stuff I've been going through, like the devil will try to install doubt. That's his job.
Facts.
That's his job. But you can't. If the world, if like everybody in the world were to let doubt take over, nobody would be famous.
Now,
Nobody would be successful. There would be no Tyler Perry. You don't think the devil was trying to install doubt? Like, hey, if you put this dress on and act like this old lady with some knowledge, you'll get somewhere. But the devil, hey, you look ridiculous in that wig and outfit, bro. Don't do that. Don't. No, they're gonna judge you. They're gonna laugh at you. You're gonna be humiliated. Like, you don't think there was doubt that he took that leap of faith? And this nigga is one of the richest people in America now. $3 billion, owns a whole studio.
hold on. You talking about Tyler Perry?
Yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna go against you on that one, Prince. I'm gonna go
you
against
is.
you. Don't get me wrong. I get the message you trying to say, right? Like I get there's like
That example, the example.
but that example, I'm not. The only reason I say this is because think about, say if you have a kid, right? Don't get me wrong. Like I'm guilty of it as well. Like I've watched the Medea shows, right? But
Hmm.
think of like a young mindset, right? Say like a 10-year-old, and they watching this shit. At the end of the day, the message that they're receiving is that it's okay for a man to dress up like a woman. And when that gets installed, that kid loses masculinity, and it
Yeah,
allows the thought of being a transgender to run through his mind. I'm not saying it's like, yo, be a tranny, but it's like it allows that thought of like, okay, this is all right. This is funny. People, my mom are laughing, my dad are laughing. It's like when your kid playing GTA and it's like, oh man, he out here killing people and stuff. It's just a game, right? But at the same time, it's planting seeds of like, well, shit, maybe I should, you know what I'm saying, like killing something. So the only reason why I say, like, I don't believe in that whole, the male role model dressing funny style. Like, I don't believe in it. Like, even in the Bible, it says a man is not to wear a woman's garments, and a woman is not to wear a man's garments because the two should not be blended. A man's a man and a woman's a woman. I made you that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I'm gonna go against you. But in the fact of like having doubts of success, like say, hey, I'm not gonna stay up and study for this test. I ain't even gonna fucking pass the test anyway. It's like, nah, don't have that doubt. Study for that test and like do it. Take that leap before you make that assessment. But nah, I
So
don't know. I'm not a fan
I
of
agree with everything you said. You're absolutely right. I know the agenda, what they do, of putting the black man in the dress
yeah, that's exactly what I'm
with
talking.
Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, uh, shit, nigga, Kevin Hart, everybody. Dave Chappelle made it clear that he wasn't putting on no dress,
Man, he put us on.
but yeah, he put us on game. No, I definitely agree. Like that child, installing that. But at the same time, the Medea movies is heartwarming. I'm looking deeper than that. In just in his particular case, not Big Mama's house, not the Nutty Professor and all that shit, but just a Medea, because there was no message in Big Mama house. It was just a FBI, a cop trying to act like a big black old woman to infiltrate on a drug on a serial killer who just just trying to catch type shit. That's the real shit. Or Nutty Professor. I don't see the message in that as well. But Medea, that like I don't want to do it, but I give Tyler Perry leeway just off the strength of
Talk to you,
the
hold on.
messages that he had in the black home would be so right. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Tyler Perry's the only nigga that I can give. I don't like you being in a dress, trust me, but that is the only nigga that had messages in his sitcoms and his movies. You know what I mean? That black folks really be going through type shit.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I grew up off Medea. That reminds me, my auntie was Medea, bro. Rest in peace. That I miss her so much. That was her. So it's like a sentimental thing with Tyler Perry in that aspect. And then it's the fact of I agree with you saying about then installing kids to want to put on be transgenders and all that. But we was kids growing up off of Medea, and I don't want to put on no dress. But at the same time, this new generation is a lot more weak minded than us.
Facts.
You see what I mean? They don't
Facts.
they don't they don't take or reciprocate like we did. Like the depression level in kids today is just we was not depressed like that back in the day. We was in the hood, nigga, getting shot at and hearing gunshots at night. Like the
We yeah,
depression level and the suicide level is that they're a little more. I'm not trying to put them down, but they are a lot more weak minded than us. You know what
because
I
they
mean?
house niggas. They like this generation breeds house niggas. We was outside niggas.
Right,
We was field niggas.
right.
Nigga, I don't care if it's raining, whatever. You gonna go outside, get the fuck out my house and play, whatever. Figure it out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Now it's like, nigga, here's an iPod. Leave me alone. Nigga,
Yeah. Yeah.
here's a TV. What you want? You want the Netflix password? Here you go. Also, that kid just stick there reading that shit for days. Nigga, we be outside like playing with ants. Like, why the ants colonize? Why the ants all?
Yeah.
We be scientists before we was even. You know what I'm saying? We out there experimenting with all types of shit, whether it was good or bad. So I get what
I
you saying.
think with Tyler Perry, it had its generational limit. You know what I mean? It was meant for us, and maybe the old heads who, but this new generation, I don't think is really for them, just because they reciprocate, like you said, things too different. Like with Tyler Perry, it was deeper than him just putting on the dress. It was the meaning of what the messages. He has a lot of wisdom. Like the dude's a pastor. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
So
No,
he
that's
has a lot of wisdom. So that's why that is the only nigga I give leeway. Somewhat, you still on the fence, like nigga, was you trying to have an agenda on that? But
man. That's what makes it so hard. It's what's so real. Like it's so authentic. But it's just like at the same time, when I think of
it's
Matthew,
50-50 with that nigga. Everyone else is like, nah, bro. Like,
when I think of Tyler Perry, right? I'm not gonna lie. The
mhm.
first image is Medea, not Tyler Perry. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's what's crazy to me. And I'm an adult, nigga. Like when you say like someone say, "Oh, you said Tyler Perry movie," I'm thinking what Medea movie? I think he's done movies where he's himself, right?
he did. He has.
But I wouldn't. I don't think of the movies. You know what I'm saying? One, because
Really
like you said, his Medea movies are so well
powerful. They're
thought.
so legendary. They're too legendary.
They're done very well, right? Like what was the
Hmm.
one like my favorite? Diary of a Mad Black Woman. When the dude's like fucking around on her, and then he gets paralyzed in the wheelchair, and then she
Hmm.
taking care of him, and she dumps his ass in the hot tub and shit. Like fuck you, nigga. Like that shit was raw and authentic. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah,
many other Medea ones that are good too, but like that was like when I was young and I was watching it. But it's just like it sucks because at the end of the day, the messages are strong and everything's strong, but it's just like at the end of the day, Tyler Perry had to play a woman instead
to
of
get that point across.
getting a strong woman to play that part.
I noticed that too.
You know what I'm saying?
I noticed that too. Yeah.
But I can't knock his creativity and his genius and that thought level.
Yeah.
Like I respect that, but it's
You
just
know
like,
why though?
huh?
You want to know why?
Go ahead.
Because he made a juggernaut. See, the thing about being famous, most of the time, you have to resemble and have a character that resembles your targeted audience. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Medea means so much to the black community because, correct me if I'm wrong, nigga, in the black home, there is, and even sometimes in other, nigga, I know Mexican families that, they have, they have there's a Medea in every black home, bro.
Yeah, the Tia.
There's a Thea, yeah, you know what I mean. There's a Medea not just mostly in every black home, but also in other cultures as well. But primarily, he was targeting the black audience when we go through. He was exposing our toxicity. Why does this woman cheat on this good man when he's working hard for this man who ain't shit? Why is this man abusing this woman and raping kids and wooty woo and she don't know? It's why is this man beating this good woman for this slut who said to pull the plug on your ass when you went paralyzed and almost died when you got shot in that courtroom? You cheated on her with this woman who don't give a fuck about you. She just wanted your money. And she's like, pull the plug. But the woman that you've been dogging and treating like shit and trying to divorce and get rid of, she's like, no, he said it's a something percent chance. Why are we gonna pull the plug on him? I'm still his wife. We're not divorced yet. Don't pull the plug on him. He has a chance. You know what I mean? There's
Deep.
so much of a message that's deep, like,
That black love,
bruh.
bruh. That's why it fucks me up, bro. Low key, I'm just like, but like I said, everyone's a hypocrite.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just different levels. But at the same, it's just like I'm a hypocrite too. I ain't no one's perfect. It says in the Bible, man, not one person on this earth is perfect, bro. There's not one
no,
person
no.
who's worthy of going around and saying you ain't worth it, you ain't worth it, and you ain't worth it without going in the mirror and saying you ain't worth it.
Hmm.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you done. Now, there's nothing wrong with growth and there's nothing wrong with evolving to get a better relationship. That's like I said, that's the number one thing that the Bible
Yeah,
does is build a relationship. So we all have our past, and that's why, even Tyler Perry, like, he might be on that righteous path. He might have been blessed with that money to make a difference and make a change. I can't judge him for what he's going to do or what God has been planning for him or for anybody in that matter. You know what I'm saying? Just because I see a crack kid across the street, I can't be like, man, fucking this motherfucker ain't shit. Because you don't know
yeah.
what plan that God has for that crack kid. He might fucking change him, make him a
Hmm.
pastor, and teach kids to not do drugs. And he gonna change so many lives because he can relate to the pain and the influences and the peer pressures that people go through when it comes to that drug.
You know what it says in Psalms? You can learn anything from anybody. A wino can give you wisdom. How do you think they ended up being a wino? You know what I mean? So you're right about that. Like a crackhead, I was focusing wrong. A crackhead can, like you just said, it got to be using that crackhead to, you know what I mean, to change the world. Show people why kids not to be on drugs. Like you don't know what plans God has for everybody.
No, you don't.
So with Tyler Perry, I think like there was a strong method to his madness. It's kind of like it's a different parallel, but the Family Matters, Steve Urkel. When you think of Jaleel White, what do you think of immediately? Steve Urkel.
Facts.
You don't see nothing, but there was such a message in being Steve Urkel where he had a big strong message in what he was doing too. Like he was real loyal to the family, loyal to his friendship, loyal to. And with Tyler Perry, like I said, it was so much of a deep message where it kind of overshadows that dress. That's the one nigga I give Lee away. Everybody else, no, they don't put that dress
Right.
on, bro.
Right. Fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give. I'm one of those people that give them that pass too. Like, what about? I'm like, nah. Like, you can't dismiss the knowledge and like the wisdom of making those movies like you did. Yeah, I get it. He just do wearing a dress. I get it. But at the same time, at least he he made it. I'm trying to use the right words. He made it not articulate, but it's like say you're gonna take a bullet, right? But if you can take a bullet to save more than 2 lives, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're gonna wear a dress, but you're gonna share so much knowledge and instillment of how the black family, goes through its struggles and stuff. It's like, hey, But if you're gonna be like Kevin Hart, goofy ass, where I'll never
But
this
he's just doing it for fun, yeah. And there's no message.
and this is what fucked me up. I was like, I saw the Dave Chappelle thing, right? But I didn't really, it didn't click, right? But then I'll never forget the interview. The interview in Kevin Hart, and there's a video out there. They're doing an interview, like, well, Kevin, would you wear a dress? He's like, nah. Why would I hurt my reputation? Why would I hurt like who I am? I'm a face. I'm a brand. I wouldn't hurt my brand. And then literally the next clip, this nigga's doing an SNL or a comedy thing where he acting like the queen, right? I'm like, if he slipped like that, Dave Chappelle not lying. Like they really out there trying to,
sabotage.
They were right. Like, and they got to Kevin Hart, and he was like, I think what fucking top paid comedian at that time.
No, I agree.
But at the same time, like I say, man, you can't judge nothing. All you can do is pray for somebody and hope they win in this game called spiritual warfare. It's like Michael Jackson said, man. Michael Jackson was putting us on so much game before we even knew it. Like the man in the mirror.
You know what? Hold on.
We get technical difficulties. Get the.
No, I'm good. I was gonna say, damn, I just lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I gonna say? Okay. I at times do think too, like, it's our fault.
For what?
It's our fault. Like, why did Tyler Perry have to put on a dress to get that point across? You know what I mean? And maybe in his agenda was that was the only way he can get through emulating something that's so familiar in the black home. Because niggas ain't trying to. Why did Pac have to do all this reckless shit just to get a point across? You know what I mean? Why did Jesus have to get abused and crucified just for us to get the point across? It's like they have to do one sacrificial thing that is humiliating, whatever the case may be, just because we refuse to listen. Like, I do wish there was times that if Tyler Perry just was himself, whatever, and did the same thing, maybe the point would get across. But I'm like, no, because our culture, we hard headed. We hard headed. Would that same point got across if he just did it that way?
I mean, maybe he wouldn't have the opportunity to get the point across. You know what I'm saying?
That part too. Maybe he wouldn't have the opportunity to get the point across, which is sad.
Yeah,
and it reflects on us, like,
but
bad.
You gotta take. Sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad, and the bad with the good.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's even tough to have these conversations because some people are so quick to judge or left-sided or right-sided or whatever you want to call it. That
but if we don't have these conversations, then who will though? Because nobody ever does.
I'll tell you what, I'm not even tripping. Like my thing is, I'm all about for the person who's struggling with the idea of it and just wants to hear it discussed between two other people. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they live in a family where they can't even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? They got say they got friends, right? If they even bring this shit up, they get criticized, blamed, so they don't even bring it up. So it just eats them up. So, but when they hear other people talking about, like, all right, this is okay to talk about, like, it's not like something where it gets shamed or put away. I'm always open for discussion in any topic. But I like the thing is, just because you observe something, it's gonna come with judgment. But a judgment and observation, it's a fine line. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I call you stupid from afar because I see you trying to pick up a quarter in a highway, I'm gonna be like, I'm just observing something that's stupid, right? But little do I know, you only need a quarter to catch the bus, so you can make your job, and you don't have any other money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you gotta be careful when you make those assumptions. That's why you discuss it. You figure out what's going on. Now, if I were to go up to the dude, hey man, you crazy? He's like, nah, I just need a quarter. I'd be like, I can reach in my pocket and be like, nigga, here's a quarter, you good. And then I don't call him stupid, and he understands, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like that's how the world is now. You can't be around certain, like when I go to certain family events, I don't be talking about the fall of a dollar, the collapse and shit, because they gonna get all, oh, America's fine, we're okay, we're not gonna be going through any of that. I'm like, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? You in this your own little world, which is nothing wrong. If you feel safe in your little world, cool. But I feel worse for you when shit hits the fan, your world blow up. You ain't gonna be ready for it emotionally, mentally, and maybe not even physically, because your ass is sitting around watching TV instead of working out. Meanwhile, in Africa, niggas got to march 3, 5, 7 miles just to get a pail of water. You know, that's a day-to-day living. If an American had to do it, they'd be like, "Oh, the world coming in. I got to march for water, nigga." Yes, what are you talking about? I don't care if I got to march for it. I just hope it's clean when I get there. You know.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. If it's gonna be clean when you get there, because man.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You know, I still live, but my favorite motto, man, live day by day, one day at a time, because one, tomorrow's never been promised.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you can't control tomorrow. You can control the day. Like if I want to get healthy, I hit the gym today. I like if I want to find a job, I'll do my best to go look for a job today. I'll do my best to make sure someone smiles. Do that today. I ain't gonna worry about tomorrow, whatever comes, because if God blesses you for another day, then you do it again. And steps equals miles. So you know you'll come a far way. But if you have that mentality of, oh, I'll worry about it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, or whatever tomorrow. Nah,
tomorrow's never gonna come.
Man, enjoy the day. Like you might not have fucking everything around you that's gonna be dope, but enjoy the day. There's so many cool things you could do. But see, that's how they got us. They got us with this technology. The only way we can communicate now is technology. Like I was at Easter with my family, right? Not against my auntie, but I hate people who like to talk with the phone. She'd be like, "Oh, you should have seen what was going on here. Let me bring my phone so I can show you." Or, "Hey, let me bring my phone so I can show you." Nah, just tell me. What did you get through a discussion? You tell me with your eye. Like, you don't have to show me. And that's how this generation is. To a point, it even reaches our elders. You know, everyone
that's
talks.
How big it is, yeah.
With the phone, and it's like, man. Sometimes I'll be hoping for it. Like we had a power outage because tornadoes and shit. We fucking literally fucking we just lit up like some lanterns and shit. Fucking I got the lantern over there. Lit up some lanterns in the house and we were playing board games and shit, just communicating. And I was sitting literally thinking, I'm like, how much better would the world be if we just went through a blackout for like 7 days? You know what I'm saying? Like hopefully there's a way to preserve our food because you know that's important. And like baby formula and stuff like that. But for everyone just to cut this technology off and just get back to fucking community. You know, hey, mom, how was your day? Hey, son, how was your day at school? Hey, what's really going on? You could deal with so many issues, bullying. You could deal with toxic thoughts. You could deal with someone getting picked on. But the reason why suicide and all this shit's going through the roof because every kid's and every the kids
don't got no survival skills.
You know, there's no communication. Like I was getting back that my point in the earlier. You know, everyone's scared to say something. Like you say, I'm getting picked on by somebody, and you don't know about it, right? I can't tell Prince. He gonna make fun of me. Like, nigga, you big as hell. How you getting picked on? So I'm not gonna talk about it. And then I ain't gonna tell my parents. Cause I say my dad is like he's a military man, right? I can't tell him. He's an ex-cop. He gonna you know what I'm saying? So I got no one to talk about what I'm going through. No one to speak on it. And then that's when crazy shit happens. You put. I don't care how weak you think someone is. You back them into a corner. You're gonna see how big the fight is.
You're gonna see the truth that day. That's a testament. You're right.
So it's just like, but it all comes down to being community. That's why I like having these discussions on here. Like you said, we don't talk about who's gonna talk about it. Like there needs to be more of this type of topics. There needs to be more of like what's really going on. I would hope that anyone who's going through it to pop up on here and be like, "Yo, I'm going through this right now. Let's have a discussion. I ain't gonna shame you. I might question you. I might be like your left side, like, well, why would you do this when you could do this? And then you can
Give
explain.
advice or suggestions that can help a situation. We're not judging you. You know what I mean? We just,
Trying to figure out what's going through your head because I don't know you. You don't know me.
yeah,
But that's the beautiful thing about a discussion. You know how many fucking treaties and fucking wars were solved over a table?
yeah.
It wasn't on the battlefield, nigga. It was on the table. You know? So it's just like it gets to a point where, if we can get back to just being grown or young or whatever you want to call it, just talking like human beings, not even like adults, but talking like
Just human beings.
where we can have empathy, compassion, and understanding, we be all right.
Can I backtrack for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad, man. I caught word vomit, man. My bad.
No, you. Yeah, I love when you do that. That's part of the primary of the show. To backtrack to what you said about 5 minutes ago about the blackouts and stuff like that. I personally think, and just how I be looking at CNN and stuff, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. Because look what happened. They pretty much have the world. All they rely on is technology. That's it. That's it. That like you don't have any survival skills. All you're knowing is how to use a phone or a tablet or type in this or look. You know what I mean? I was watching for the past 2 days the movie Missing, and I was amazed.
Okay.
Even though it's a movie, but primarily what the movie was about is the girl's mom ends up getting kidnapped or whatever, and they thought it was the boyfriend, which he was involved, but it was actually her dad who hired the boyfriend to play as the boyfriend to it's a crazy scenario. But throughout the whole movie, the girl, she only 18 years old, she pretty much uses technology to find her mom again. Even when the cops didn't really know what to do,
Oh shit.
she learned how to she learned how to look up certain sites. The tour that she was at where there's public cameras, backtrack, look at this camera here. Okay, go on this Gmail. Where was her? She went into the mom's Gmail, the boyfriend's Gmail at first. Found the location they was at. Okay, they was right here this day. Then they was here. It's crazy looking at bank information. Okay, they bought something at this store over here that day. It's a lot. Where I'm like, nigga, this little bitch could have been a motherfucking investigator. Like,
It's like the modern day hunter. Digital footprint.
yeah. If you
That's
put me
crazy.
in that situation, I don't know what the fuck to do. So I was amazed. Like, man, she knows everything about nigga. Like,
Right.
I was amazed, but then I was thinking, like, they doing all this now. What was they doing back in the day when there wasn't really technology like that? What would you do if there was a blackout? There was no social media or Gmail or cameras. Like if just all the technology shut the fuck off, what would you do? Nobody, everybody would be fucked because they wouldn't have any survival skills. Nobody goes outside no more. If they do, they have technology with them. Everything it's like, what if this was like the 80s or the 70s where it wasn't booming like that? How would you have found your mom if you didn't have this technology to do it? You know what I mean? And that gets me thinking like they have the world in the palm of their hands where they can do a blackout any given time and the world would be fucked and don't know what to do.
Nah, it's funny. You can like even when you go out with a female, right?
Hmm.
Fucking let her lose her phone, drop her phone, and break her phone. It'll ruin the whole night. It'll ruin her whole. She'll be in the corner crying. I lost
Yeah.
this. I lost that. I can't talk to this. I can't get my updates. Like, bitch, you can get a new phone. Will you like the technology is so instilled in people's minds these
That's
days.
their life.
It's their life. It's their heart. It's their heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like me, if I break my phone, I actually feel like weight off my shoulders. I'm like, cool, now I ain't gotta deal with this bullshit. I ain't gotta worry about this motherfucker calling me and bothering me. I ain't gotta worry about my job hitting me up. Hey, can you come in? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Like the phone's beneficial. But I remember, I'll never forget. I had like my phone. I did break my phone when I was in Arizona, and I came to
Hmm.
this assumption, right? You can't do shit without your phone. Like they make you need it. Like nigga, I try to get
They made it your reliability.
at 2 o'clock in the morning. You can't get an Uber. You can't get
Hmm.
Lyft. You can't
Can't
go.
check your bank statements, bank
Can't
account, how
call,
much money you got.
I try to call up. A gas station they have like the what's the fucking eco taxi and shit. Nigga, I was
Hmm.
taxis. Motherfuckers kicking me out of the gas station. Talk about we don't give our phones to customers. I'm out here for a whole 20 hours trying to get a ride to work. I ended up walking. I ended up walking to work for like 3 hours. I was like 2 hours late. But I'm like, no, I couldn't get a ride. I don't have my phone. I couldn't fucking get a hold of nobody. It was like literally, I'm out here, and the thing is, this is what we have that the generation now don't have. I have social skills, interaction skills, charisma. I could flag someone down without being threatening or coming off as a idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta do your hustle. Hey nigga, let me get $5 and borrow your phone. Or let me do this. Let me get a connection here. Or I'll give someone, hey, you need to get your battery jumped. Some dude in the parking lot jumped his battery, gave me a ride closer to my job. You know what I'm saying? Swindling, dealing. And that's how we used to be. Like, say I'm a farmer who do carrots and you have fucking cow's milk, whatever. I'll go over here, meet you, interact. I'll share some of my carrots. You give me some farm, and we good. Now everything's on the phone. We don't have no interaction skills. We do everything off email, text, LOL, JK. So we lose this, and we get to the real world and talk. People are shy. People nervous. They don't know how to do like what they say. The number one fear thing is talking in public on stage, then death.
Man,
scared to talk in public than to die. You know what I'm saying? But yet here you are, so easy to show your ass and titties to the world as long as you don't have to talk to them. As long as they don't
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, these girls, if they didn't have the technology today, they'd have to be strippers, right? But now you don't have to be a stripper. You don't need a pole. Now you just got a camera.
Oh man,
it's easier now.
You got OnlyFans.
Right, OnlyFans to the point you got old ex strippers coming out of retirement. Like, hold on, let me show you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just technology has come so far that we rely on it to the point that it's almost, I don't even know what to call it, destructive.
Yeah, no, it is destructive. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It gives us a lot of growth and luxuries, and like we can learn so much more from. Like I could look up right now how to filter water. Like say if I live in a shitty place where the water's trash, I could look up filtered water. But at the same time, this same device could fucking mentally fuck me up to where it's like I could become a racist. I could become, a transgender. I could have, I could look up a bomb right now and be like, hey, how am I don't like this. I don't like these person, or I don't like this. I'm gonna fucking looking for a manipulative way to cut their body up, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's beneficial, but it's destructive. But that's why it's too much power for a human being to have. It really is.
Amen.
But yet we give this power to an infant and say, "Yeah, shut the fuck up."
And I didn't even realize that too. Like, as adults, as grown ass motherfuckers, we can barely handle the power.
Barely.
But like you just said, we pass to an infant to shut the fuck up and expect them to know what to do with the power. My kids would not know what to do now if their tablets just died the fuck off, or just and the Wi-Fi just shut off and it's worldwide type shit. They wouldn't know what to do. They would just lose their fucking heads. Like, that's crazy. And we're setting our own children up for failure.
Yeah.
Because it's good to have, but you can't let that just be your only resource of which you know what I mean? And that's crazy.
It's because that's why they get rid of all these old folks, especially like with COVID. One thing I noticed with the COVID, I feel like, it was planned or whatever. It was to kill off all the OGs because the OGs kept us safe. But once we lose that, what do? We turn to the government. Oh, we're gonna look for the government to keep us safe. We're gonna hope the government. So when the kids look up to us, we looking up to the government. Who the kids gonna look up to? They're gonna bypass us and be like, nigga, fuck y'all. I'm just gonna run straight to the government. The government's agenda, you already know. They be like, oh, come here, little worker bee. Let me go ahead and put you in a position to fucking fail. When your grandma and your grandparents, all the elderly, they want you to have love in your heart and they want you to win. Your grandma will give her last breath for you to have 30 more seconds.
That part.
I
remember in the pandemic there was an old lady who was like 92 years old, and that's just when they started finding the vaccines or whatever. And I guess in the hospital she was at, there wasn't enough lead, and there was 2 young people dying, and she said, "Give it to them. I live my life. I'm ready to go with God anyways. Like, I'd rather you save them. They have so much to live for. Everything that they had to live for, I've already lived." And she sacrificed herself to save them 2 people. That was like 19 and 15 type shit. It was like they had it bad. But yeah, man, you're right. They killed off all the OGs. It's man.
It's just like, and it goes back to the Tyler Perry thing. Like we all that Medea, like we all grew up with that. We all had an old lady on the porch who would yell and discipline the kids. Couldn't been
Mm-hmm.
the dad's working. Mom, she cooking and cleaning. The old lady on the rocking chair on the porch. Y'all get off my grass. And
Preach.
the thing is, what would the kids do too, right? Hey, Miss Jones, I'll take your trash out for you, cause Miss Jones be out there with cookies. You know what I'm saying? Miss Jones would have the gangsters, the little thugs, the kids, the BB shooting out the windows. No one touched Miss Jones' house though. They cut her
No
grass,
God.
pull her weeds, take out her trash, and all she do is give him a little love and a little bit of discipline at the same time. Motherfucker, get off my yard, grab him by the ear, right? And then pull him upstairs. Here's a cookie. Now go ahead, tell your mama and dad thank you for being, you know what I'm saying? You better appreciate your parents because no one's gonna give a fuck about you. They be the OGs to give you that wisdom. Cause you be like, man, fuck my mom, fuck my. And she be like, nah, they doing good. They don't see you right now, but they trust me. Everything they doing is for you, so appreciate that. It's like we all losing that Mrs. Jones. We all losing it in every neighborhood, not just the black community, but even in the Latino community, even in the Asian
Mm-hmm.
community, whatever community you want to call it, as a minority, even in the white household. And that's like I remember we were talking about this before, but that's why I respect the Latinos because, and even black people. Black people do this too. We're not always quick to throw our elderly in the nursing home, but white folk show is.
Oh, that's because the majority of white folks don't give a fuck about they fucking they OGs and they elders and stuff like that. But I've been seeing lately like it's starting to come to our culture when it's like that too. These kids they don't have no fucking respect. That's one thing that was different about us. You had like one out the bunch that was an idiot that we kind of stopped fucking with him or her.
Yeah,
But no matter how gangster he was and how retarded and ignorant he was, we definitely have respect for elders. Like you said, if someone messed with Miss Jones' house, nigga, we fucked them the fuck up. Nigga, that's Miss Jones. Don't touch Miss Jones' house.
facts.
The neighborhood granny, what are you doing? Like, don't touch it. The whole block coming out for Miss Jones, nigga, something that, you know what I mean? They ain't doing that today. And I'm crazy because I've been depressed about that. What you just said too, that the OGs is down. You right. Like we had that era where people that was born like the 1940s and 50s and 60s is dying off. Even in the early 70s, they 50 some years old. And it's like, damn, like the people who educated me on some shit and put me on game and showed me how to be a man and how to move like this and go with God. My pastor passed away. That was one of the like, and it's like, damn, nigga, our kids ain't going. Who our kids go to? Because, like you said, Miss Jones is dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, bro. Like, I miss that era. You making me miss being a kid again.
And what's crazy, we gonna have this generation where every grandparent gonna have a tattoo on their face.
That part.
You know what I'm
And you
saying?
notice, like, I'll be like, when they gonna do a new president that's young, it's like it sucks. They suck, but we need the presidents that we get now. But what's gonna happen to when we get a president that was born in the '90s and 2000s and shit? They ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean?
I think if we get one that was born in the '90s, we'll be all right. I'm worried about the
The
2000s
2000s.
because '90s babies still like. I'm gonna be on some real shit, not to be on some like because I was born in the '90s, so this is what it was. But I think we were born in the best era, like the '80s and '90s. I give us the best era award because one, we had to experience a a world that was so fast at adapting and changing that instilled in the way we are. Like if you give 80s baby or '90s baby a new world, we'll adapt like that because we come from typewriting
But
our
we
essay,
had the best of both worlds. Yeah,
we scan
pages to
our
cell
phones
phones.
for an essay. Like we can still use a computer. Don't get us fucked up. We can still give us some time, but we can use a computer just like y'all little youngins. But we can
Yeah,
also use a phone book too.
facts. I
And
miss the days when we had the black book. You had to write numbers down. You just remember numbers by heart.
shit.
Who remembers a number by heart these days? You can't. It's like you, you can't, bro. It's weird, but yeah, you're right.
Even spelling, nigga. Like I'm a horrible speller because of a phone. A phone has fucked up my, my literacy. You ever like you ever spell a word wrong on purpose just so they'll give you the right way to spell it. Because you,
Yeah.
like, I'll spell the word like I spelled it perfectly, right? But
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to know that I spelled it correctly. So I'm like, how come there's no red line? Well, maybe it didn't correct me. Let me spell it wrong and make sure I did spell it right. Like, I'll go through
Right.
it.
Just to make sure that it. Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, I'm a failure. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Nigga, I used to be a fucking third grade spelling bee champ. Now I'm a 30-year-old fucking stupid ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
No, so it's like technology did fuck us up. It helped us in a way, but it fucked us up because I was a third grade and fourth grade spelling bee champ too, and it's like I'll be like, damn, how did I not know to spell this word? What the fuck? Like, how do I have this much of a brain fart? Like, how nigga I can spell the show goddamn what the fuck? Like, it's weird, but it's true.
Hell yeah. I remember there's a comedian, I think his name was Patrice. He had a funny little
Mhm.
bit, man. He was like if someone put a gun in my head and said spell restaurant, like I'll kill your mama, otherwise, or you spell this word, and he'd be like, I would look at my mom like, Mom, you know I love you. Look at me here, I love you. And he like struggling, but he's like RST. Is there a U? I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be feeling the same way. I'm like, I don't fucking know these words, but I used to. But you know, so it's a motherfucker. But at the same
And
time,
restaurant is one of the most easiest words
I spell it out. Go
to,
ahead.
to No, I'm saying like once upon a time. I mean, I could probably spell it out now. And look it up just to make sure I spelled it right.
See,
R-E.
you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying I was spelling it RESAURANT.
RES, no T in there.
No, I said RESTAURANT.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. You know what's crazy? I don't. I think that looks like it's spelled correctly, but I don't know. It didn't give me like the whole thing. You dig? Let me see if I could. Let me see. Let me ask Google that. RSTAURANT.
Yeah, that's what I spelled. But at the same time, what I'm saying is like
Yeah,
once
you
upon a time there would have been no doubt that I spelled it right. You know what I mean? It's just,
right. We wouldn't
so
be
just
too grown
because
men talking about how can we,
there was doubt if I even had that right, like nigga, is that how you spell that shit? Like,
man. See what I'm saying, bro? That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, that's fine because like right now, like spelling the word restaurant is not gonna help my survival. Like I'm not gonna like say the power goes out. Everyone be calm. I can spell restaurant. We're gonna be okay.
I would, unless we go to the library and get some books, I
Yeah,
wouldn't know if I spelled that bitch right or not. Like,
man. But that's the beautiful thing about language. Like, as long as you get your point across, that's all that matters. You know.
that's sad.
You know, like like say like when another person who doesn't speak the English language and they stranded, everyone knows SOS.
Yeah.
We don't even know what the fuck it means. I think what it means. Survivors are. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I really don't to this day. But I know if you in help and you spell SOS, that means help in some way or form.
Yeah, it is. Like your braids, by the way. I didn't say at the beginning.
No, appreciate you,
You
bro.
finally got them there. Yeah.
If you
It's kind of like a twisted backwards. My hair nappy as fuck, and now your hair braided.
hell yeah, I am usually a nappy headed nigga. I ain't even gonna lie.
I'm rocking a little ponytail right now just because it's about to be summertime and having braids out here is gonna make you want to cut it off. But if having a ponytail don't, you know,
I'll tell you what though,
reflect the shit.
I'm gonna put you on game, bro. Like your hair, don't let someone put me on. They said your hair is not it's not dead cells, right? It's not like dead cells. Like it's different in your body, but your hair absorbs the sun, and the sun has natural neutrons or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the scientific of it, right? I just know like the main thing, and it makes sense to me. But like the reason why black people hair is curly, right? It curls up is because it's like a coil. Like you know how like you have a coil like electricity, our hair takes that energy from the sun and it brings it to our brain, and it helps us like heal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like same thing like with like if you put your feet in the grass, bare feet, like your body will lower blood pressure. You'll have more electrons. You'll like it's kind of like it's almost like healing. It's like when you plug your phone to a charger, it charges. Like you put your feet into mud.
Yeah.
But they get us when they put us. They got us wearing shoes and socks and shit, disconnected from our own Mother Earth. This man, I don't know. There's always something out there, you know. And to me, like it makes sense, right? Because if God wanted us to have shoes, He'd have been like, "Nigga, here's some shoes."
Facts.
You know, make sure like it would have been in there like, "Hey, make sure you got your shoes on. Make sure you do this." Ain't nothing in there. Now, if you climbing like Rocky Mountains, yeah, you might want some shoes. But just to be outside and chilling, you don't need no damn shoes. Put your feet in the mud. There's nothing wrong with it.
That's how you know the world is changing. Because I read this thing where it was a time where you're supposed to like put your feet in soil, and then your body elevates from putting that in like regular grass or regular just floor, and it gravitates to you in a positive way. But it's so the soil and the ground is so polluted and corrupted, and piss on it, it's so dirty. It's like fuck. You have to have your shoes on now.
Uh, I
Otherwise,
never
you get
thought
sick.
about it like that.
It should never be to a point where you walk barefoot on the floor and you get sick. Like I tell my kids, before you come outside, put some shoes on. What are you doing? You get sick. And it really shouldn't be like that. It should be the opposite.
Hell yeah, it's like when you jump into a community pool. And you want them water shoes because you never know what glass or fucking shit be on the bottom of that bitch.
Facts.
Nigga, is that an OE bottle cap?
It's like when did we just get so dirty? Like the world is, the humans just became dirty, which is actually a sin. Uh, it's crazy how we just became so. I even blame myself, nigga. I keep my car sometimes. I'd be like tired of cleaning the shit because the kids keep fucking it up. And I'm not gonna fuck with it this time. But it needs to where I need to teach them cleanliness. Like,
You know what? It's just life. It's variables, man. Like sometimes you go through something and it just it puts you in a place where you're like, fuck it.
mm-hmm.
Like, why am I even trying? And that is probably the worst thing for anybody, because it'll put you in a self-destructive matter. Like someone said it like this, and it was very opening. No one's suicidal. Not one person is suicidal, but
Yeah,
we're all self-destructive.
that's a fact. I
You know,
believe it.
like you if you commit like you probably like don't get me wrong, like if you suicidal, you're gonna do it, right? It can happen. This
Yeah,
is I pray for those that are going out there, and if you're battling with it, I hope you see the brighter in it, and I hope you don't. If you kill yourself, you don't make it to heaven. And I pray that those who are going through it can find someone to talk them out of it, and someone to hear them and understand them. But at the same time, just because you're not suicidal, don't mean you're not suicidal. Like say, like I'm guilty of this, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this. I used to live not almost like with a death wish. Like I would put myself in situations that are harmful, but I don't give a fuck. Like I wasn't gonna kill myself, but if you want to kill me, what up, nigga? What? I was like I'll drink, get drunk, do stupid shit, not have no thoughts even considering of my actions. I
no,
would,
I
hey,
think that's a spirit because I had that too, like in a different way. Like
you know what I'm
there's
saying?
once upon a time, yeah, like
Self
I didn't.
self
You
destruct.
put yourself in suicidal situations. I don't give a fuck if I die. I'm going to go do this shit. I'm taking. You know what I mean? I had
Perfectly.
them too.
And that walking around the death wish shit, that's what puts us in these situations. Like, man, I should be this by now. I should be doing this. It's like, well, nigga, you had a self-destructive route for 3, 4 years. What do you expect? You lucky to be out alive, nigga.
Right.
Home with a good job and all this shit going for you. Even rich folks go through it. Like you tell me, fucking little white Stacy across the street, or that lives in that big mansion that had always had her daddy's money and everything. She out here popping pills. She out here fucking going to party when she should be in school. She doing self-destructive. You know what I'm saying? We all go through it. We all go through it. That's because
Yeah,
they.
'cause back then you seen a lot of like celebrity artists, not like white celebrities, was overdosing and stuff.
Bruh.
Like Anna Nicole Smith, Heath Ledger, Nicole Murphy, whatever her name was, the Murphy chick. What was it Nicole Murphy? I
Yeah,
forgot her name, but
girl who played 8 Mile.
the girl off of 8 Mile, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you seen a lot of stuff like that. Now you see it to where a lot of black folks is overdosing on shit. And back then we didn't really have that problem. We have it now like crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we got wealthy black people in America, but it's like, what are they doing with this wealth to get us out
Hmm.
the matrix? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, at the end of the day, like, they might give out some charities, they might do this, they might bless a school or a college or praise a girl for graduating. But at the same time, school is part of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? This college shit's part of the matrix. Like, yeah, I'm all for a person getting an education, but what is this education going to lead them to? Being a lawyer to
Hmm.
fight, to get fucking, part of the matrix. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the basics, nigga. How do we survive in this world? Like, how do we connect? Like, how do we filter water? How do we know water's clean? How do we plant?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What does the sun really do for us? Ain't no one teaches you the sun. They say like whatchamacallit, like the sun. If you can't stare at the sun, there's actually a thing called sun gazing. When you stare at the
Hmm.
sun, you open it with your eyes. It feeds into your pineal gland. Your skin opens up. You soak in, and your melanin, like the black people have melanin. It
Hmm.
actually charges that up. That's why black folks get darker because we're building more melanin by being in the sun. And that's why they say don't wear sunglasses because when you do that, it freaking it makes you think it's darker outside, so it doesn't activate your body to uh take in the sun's energy. So that's why you get skin
Right.
cancer because you're not opening up. Even for white folk, like when white folk out here wearing sunglasses and they're out in the sun all day, they're not opening up their eyes to retrieve the sun in a proper way. So it actually gives them cancer. That's why it's like even like Italians, you know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers dark as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we all one race. We ain't just because you white or whatever, we all can become dark. This is how you know. But ain't no one gonna teach us that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one out here telling you what the sun can do or what water could do or that the ocean has a memory. Like ain't no one giving us real shit. Yeah, I know if I put my name and a fucking on my application, my resume, cool, I can get it in. But what is that really gonna do? That's just gonna benefit some white man on top of the company to get more money off my working 60 hours a week slaving at it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why I always wish there was a different educational system that instead of it balancing your checkbook, it taught you how to balance your life.
And that's really the most important too. You're right. Like,
For real. Because the people who learn that, when a blackout happens, they don't even flinch, nigga. They don't even blink. They're like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
What do you mean blackout? They're like, look at the moon, nigga. Look at the stars, nigga. Isn't that beautiful? Like, there's a different mindset there. We all freaking out. Oh shit, I found out this. Meanwhile, they're like, nigga, look how pretty the sky is with all this fucking lights on this shit. Look at my pet owl up there, nigga. I got a pet owl. They got how they do the hand thing. They fucking call it over and shit, and they fly on their arm and shit, like, cause they ain't one with nature. This is there's we're not taught the right mindset to live on this earth. We taught the mindset to live in a building and work, and it's fucked up.
Kind of reminds you of a slave, don't it?
It sure do. It sure do. It
Yeah,
is.
you ain't never lied.
It really is. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to say what are you gonna do about it type like speeches, but it's just like you just gotta in your own mind. Like Michael, like that's why I always go back to Michael Jackson, that song, man, The Man in the Mirror. Because like you said,
Hmm.
once you fix yourself, it'll emulate to others. It'll stem to others. So that's why like lately I've been just focusing on changing who I am in a better way. To the point my old me is a stranger, nigga. And more and more, my old me becomes a stranger. And you know what's
I've
crazy?
been on that too.
My old me used to be my best friend. I used to be like, oh, I miss that nigga. Now I'm like,
Now you don't even want to see him no more type shit. Yeah, I'm like that with the old me too. Where it's not
right,
I'm disgusted of the old me because things happen for a reason, but I never have the tendency to go back to the old me. You know what I
right.
mean?
it's just day by day, bro. That's it. It's really how I do it, day by day.
Yeah, it is, man. Um, no, this definitely was an amazing topic. I think we hit a lot of good facts. Um, yeah, this the conversations I can get into. Um, back to what you said, I don't know if it's, what can you do, what are you gonna do about it, but it's more a question of what can we do about it. But I think you touched on it too. You said you have to fix yourself because you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. You know what I mean?
Facts. You really can't. You really can't.
I
Yeah.
definitely feel that. And I think next time too, like we can start sharing the link to like people that want to like come on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, how long they want to be on, and get their opinions on certain stuff. Like
Yeah. I say, Gary won 10 minutes, run through.
hmm
Run through it. Like I'll give him the whole 10 minutes. Say whatever you want. If you want a rebuttal, if you want to back and forth, we'll give it to you. We'll keep you on longer. But if you just want to speak your ideas, speak your mind, we'll give you 10 minutes, then we'll talk about it afterwards. And then the thing is, and then the next show, we'll give you a chance. Like say we let someone talk 10 minutes and they say something like crazy through the roof, like nigga, I believe in this, that, and whatever. Like, all right, and keep talking, and then we rebuttal like, man, that was kind of crazy. We'll bring you on next episode to be like, hey, why did you say this? Well, why did you say that? We'll have a discussion about it. We'll go back and forth. We'll bring you on even longer if it's worthy of a topic. Now, if you
Right.
talk about some shit where it's like, hey, there's a new club opening downtown. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You did your little piece, ain't nothing, I got nothing against it. Promote while you can.
But we talking about a much more bigger issue, so we're gonna give you a little 5 minutes of fame, and all right, have a good one.
Right, exactly. Or you want to, hey man, what do y'all think about the Will Smith slapping Chris? I'm like, that's another one. It's like, what is that? Like, how is that gonna change my life tomorrow? Talking about that stuff,
Yeah.
Like the thing is, and that's how a lot of these YouTubers and vloggers. That's how they make their bread. They milk and cookies. Hey, did you see Lil Boosie at the airport with Homeboy? Yeah, we all saw it. But what is that gonna do for you
For
personally,
you.
being grow or whatever for the plan for the next day or today, or help you in any shape, way, or form? You know what I'm saying? That's why I love what we discuss here, because I feel like it opens up a pathway in a discussion for real shit, real, just real dialogue. We're not here to
Yeah.
be like, oh man, did you see so and so? What are they wearing? Why would they wear that? That's like that's barbershop talk. This ain't the barbershop
Right.
talk. Knockout. We gonna knock out that bullshit and fucking instill some.
Right. Talk about the real issues and get somewhere. I think like kind of what you just said. I see a big problem in the community where we worry about other people instead of worrying about ourselves. Like you just said with that Ti and Boozy situation at the airport. It's like, what does that do for us? But so many people are so nosy and they want to worry about other people's issues instead of fixing their own issues. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got time to worry about if Boozy and Ti gonna finish the album because he joked about snitching and he didn't really snitch, and because I don't. It's interesting, I'll listen to it like okay, but I don't just focus my whole day or week on that shit. Like I got so much stuff I got to work on within and stuff that I'm trying to get, you know. And so many people get worried about everybody else and trying to point the finger at everybody instead of like, why are you not worried about yourself? You late 2 months on rent right now. And you worry about Ti and Boozy. They
What's crazy? It goes back.
about to repo your car. You worried about Ti and Boozy. You worried about Krishan Rock.
It goes back to that post you made about how people are scared of the church because they're scared of their own testimony and their own deed.
Hmm.
And I think that's why people what do you call it, project, and they want to put the limelight of other people and focus on their shame or whatever, or their drama or whatever, because they don't want eyeballs on their own shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't want they don't want the judgment on them, so they pass it on other people just to get their attention off them.
Exactly. Like I love it because I'm guilty of this. We all get intrigued, we all get entertained, but sometimes we go through the comments and we just curious what people say. Like I'll read some of that shit. I'm like, why is there 26,000 comments about this shit? Like, and everyone has something like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that, I would have done this. Like, what? Shut the like. Why is that? That's too many. That's too many. Like, what are we really on as a society? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you to tell someone what you would have done? How about you just live your life and you do what you can do in the moment? And if the thing is, if you so popping and you so real and you so down to earth and you so cool and you handle any situation like a G, then how come your life ain't so contented where you don't even need to worry about talking about how what else? Because your life is fine and a good standing point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. Like I said, not one person on this earth can go around and say you dope, you bad, you whatever. Because
Big
I'm
facts.
fucked up too. We all fucked up. Welcome to Mother Earth, motherfuckers. No one's perfect. I don't even. You can go down the street, knock on your pastor's door. He ain't perfect. You can go knock on your grandma's door. She ain't perfect. The thing is, you might not know about it because it's funny because I got older. My grandma used now because like now she'll tell me she's like I was when I was your age. You know, we got into trouble too. Like, this stuff I don't even want to tell you. And I'm sitting there laughing like my whole childhood, even to my like 20s, I always thought you was an angel, never did nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like you look at them like oh, you know what I'm saying? Flawless, victims. You know what I'm saying? Never done nothing wrong, but you know they got their stories too. Especially the old people. They've been around in a time where you can go shoot somebody broad daylight and make it home for dinner and no one knew about it. You know, there wasn't no cameras. You know.
You know what that is though, and this is what I think we get to know. Sometimes the person you become in a righteous matter, it overcomes your dark past, right?
Oh yeah, amen.
Examples. Example. I'm gonna say this. Like I have a few examples of that actually.
Go ahead.
Like Angela White, who
Okay, you
was
talking about
formerly known as Black China. Black
yeah.
China. The work just alone that she's done in a few months with herself is you starting to forget that past she got someone else that's like that, John Cabana, Bunk Gang.
Oh yeah, that
The
one I
person
put me on
the
to him.
person that
Oh,
the person that he's become and been doing for these few years, I don't even remember the stupid shit he was doing when he was Bunk Gang just because he the righteous when you step into that righteous path, God eliminates that. You know what I mean? My mother told me stuff about, what she did back in the day and stuff like that. And even before she became saved, I remember a few things. But because who she's been this whole time in a righteous path, I don't even think about, I'm looking at the person now, what they became now. As long as I don't see you on one of these Freaknik videos, as long as I don't see her on these Freaknik videos, mama, you good. And someone else that was like that is Malcolm X. Every once in a blue moon, they tell the story about how Malcolm was before stepped into the light. He was a pimp, he was a hustler, he did this and that. But when you hear stories about Malcolm X, do you hear any of that? No, you hear the good work that man's done. You heard, Nipsey. This nigga was the King Von of LA back in the day, my nigga.
yeah.
Always had wisdom, was always intelligent, but he was a smaller 60s crib. I remember the shit, but throughout a decade before he passed, what he become, you don't hear none of that.
Right.
Which is, I feel bad for people like King Von who died at an early age because you never got to see them turn into their righteous self. They righteous, it's sad. Like some of the generation, they're not gonna have the chance to become that. And that's what it is with, like you said, your grandmother and stuff like that, and your moms. Uh, the righteous path that they chose and go on, it overshadows their past.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. That's really how it should be.
Yeah, and I love that, man, and I love that. And then
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, those people have 100% the right to guide anybody.
Right.
They still like it's funny because my one day I was with my grandma and she was like, God had to correct me because I was judging, you know. And she's like, I messed up. Like, even at this age of me, her being so connected with God and on the righteous path, like super righteous, like we still make mistakes too, you know. She's so
Of
humble.
course.
She's so humble as being a saint. It's crazy, bro. But it's just like it's just you gotta approach life with open arms. You really do. But this is how we fucked up because the government so fucking makes the world so corrupt. You can't if you smart, You can't come out here with open arms. That's how you get killed. You know what I'm saying? What's that saying? Love will get you killed.
Which it should be the opposite, but you're right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's hard to find that balance of like, all right, I can open my arms to you and I can't open my arms to you. You can't be 100% arms open, which we should be. We all always should be. Like, you know, but we can't be 100% closed either. Like, fuck you, we can't do that. But I think
Because we righteous people in a devilish world, and that's what the devil has. We allowed him to take over in that aspect, where you say you can't open your arms to everybody. You can't save everybody. I love to save the entire black community. Majority of these niggas are just lost and going to see the hellfire, unfortunately. And I had to come to terms with that. Like, I'm not gonna save every motherfucking soul.
But I think that's why I said a president from the 80s and 90s would be beneficial because I feel like they have that intelligence or that knowledge of who to open the arms to and who they close the arms to. I think that's what gives us our different ability. We could read people better than our generation because we have the old heads. We have grandparents who still did slavery shit. Like I remember Papa Freddy, this nigga stupid.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace to my second grandpa, man. It was my grandpa, man.
That was my grandpa too.
He was the OG, man, and I hope I'm still active in doing it at that age. Like he's 84.
I hope I'm able to do what Papa Freddy did at 84 years old, man. Like
Man.
the influence he had on the neighborhoods and the city, like
Man,
that's inspiring.
and yeah, for real. But it's like we have that knowledge, we have that old head knowledge, but then we also know where our youth is going wrong, you know. So I think that's why the 80s and the 90s generation is it's like what they always taught you in school, the kids of the future, right? Well, to be honest, it ain't these kids, it's us. Like we the kids of the future, we the future now, right now.
Yeah.
Now. Today we can make rules. Like, you know, you can't be a president till what? You age 35. So, you know, I got like 3 more years ago. But this is like we have to start getting our asses back into those fucking town centers, those city hall events. Back in voting is right, but we gotta change the way voting is done. Like, you know, but if we don't do nothing, if we become stagnant, it ain't gonna get done. It ain't gonna get changed. I don't care how many posts you do. I don't care how many fucking picket signs you hold up. Unless you actually get involved and get your hands dirty, and unless, like, this is how I look at it, right? Until someone threatens you publicly or personally, you ain't making a change. It's like you ever seen the movie Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Remember they threw a rock through the black coach's window? That's when you knew you were making a change. That nigga was putting white kids and black kids in a correlation to see each other as equals on a winning football team. You know what I'm saying? Until you get threats, like if the devil ain't attacking you, then you ain't doing nothing right yet. You know.
I'm gonna keep that with me. That's a powerful one. If the devil ain't attacking you, then you ain't doing nothing right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's attacking you for a reason because he see what you own and what you
He's like, oh, nigga, you doing this little shit. That ain't gonna change nobody. Go ahead, keep on with that shit. Your ass be back there doing the same fucked up. I ain't worried about you. But this nigga that's fucking starting a little coalition over here, getting people woke, actually changing, actually converting, actually making an impact. Oh, we gotta get rid of him. Let's threaten his ass. Let's get him out. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm trying to get ready for as a human.
Yeah.
Like because once you go down this road, that comes with it. You know.
Yeah.
It comes with it.
In the short amount of time, bro, I've already experienced it. Like, and it's a mental warfare that you got to be ready for in all aspects. You got to be ready for people that you thought was close to you to even turn on. Just because the devil still got their mind, but you have that ability to let, like you said, we have that ability. 80s and 90s babies. I'm a 90s baby like you.
Right.
To separate who to open arms to and who not to open arms to. It's the same thing in spirituality, where sometimes my homeboy, shout out to his son Campbell, he said the devil is not allowed in God's house, and the righteous should never be in the devil's house. That's why I don't be going to clubs no more. He said all the demonic stuff that happens in the club and the stuff that we was doing back in the day, you know that's not the place of righteousness. So the devil is not allowed in God's house. Therefore, we have to acknowledge who's with us and who's with the enemy. Because if you take on the enemy and let the enemy come into your house, which is supposed to be God's house, then you really sacrifice it and make it a liability for yourself and everybody that's in that house.
Yep. What's that saying? Don't let a fox in the hen house.
Yeah.
Type shit. You're gonna see. Yeah, you let a fox in the hen house, you're gonna see stirred feathers.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what you were saying. The post that you was talking about, I did. It said something. I think like, not everybody in the church is judging you. You just don't like guidance.
That was it.
With a lot of this generation's problem, they do not like to be guided, and it's like, why go into the church if that's what you go to see? Knowledge, guidance, the Lord's wisdom. Why are you going there just to go back to do the same shit you was doing last night or 2 nights before, or whatever? You're supposed to be going for forgiveness, trying to change the element.
Right.
If you didn't go to try to change anything or learn anything, go back. You just going to just go, not you didn't gain anything.
Right.
And that's the problem the generation has about going. You don't like guidance. We're not all judging you. You just don't like being guided. If you can't get guided, you're gonna be fall in line with the enemy.
I allow that for the youth. Like you a teenager, you a kid, and you go to church. I allow it because God planting seeds right now. You plant, like no one even in all in the Bibles. You know what I'm saying? No one catches on early. And the thing is, I feel like sometimes God knows the youth. God knows our future before we're born, right? So He knows you're not gonna catch on. So He might take your life, and it might be a sad thing, but He took you before you were destructive completely.
Yeah.
So I always try to get the positive in that side, but it's like if you go to church and you're young and you're like, I didn't learn anything, whatever. He planting seeds to one point. Because one thing I've learned, pain is growth. So you might get to a point where like you got dumped, fired, whatever. Why you might run to God because all the little seeds he was planting while you was in church, you remember. Oh, okay, Gabriel had to go through this. Okay, David had to fight Goliath. Okay, Jesus died for us. Like you run back. So it's like, well, let me know more. So next time you do go to church, you actually soaking it in and you giving them your full attention because all them little seeds. But if you go in there as an adult, someone who has a cognitive mind, and you have responsibilities, and you going into church and you don't get nothing out of it afterwards, your post is 100% right. Like, what are you doing?
And those are the ones to watch out for too, because what's wrong with your spirit when you went to a church and then let anything in that church take you to see and no show there? Because if you step into that's the ultimate God's house right there is a church. So everybody who's had their testimonials and received the Holy Ghost, them spirits is all elevated in the church. And some of it like I never go to my church, knock on wood, but I've never went to my church and didn't feel anything or feel like something to wash over my shoulders. You know what I mean? So for someone to go and I feel nothing, no, they have to really worry about something major. Like the devil really got your soul if you just went back. You know what I mean? Like you should be the main one praying to cry for forgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a scary person to be around, Like that's like that grown up Cain type shit. Like, you gonna kill your own son.
You ever took someone to church and they was angry out of the fact and didn't know why they was angry?
Man, I have not. Thank goodness. That would pick me up. I wouldn't be ready for that. I wouldn't be ready.
I wasn't either, but that's it. Okay. Yeah, let me drop you off right quick. Don't cut them out no more. Blocked. I'm praying for you from a distance. That's the one you got to pray for a distance. Like, oh yeah, you got a different type of spirit than you. I gotta like as bad as my kids is. Every time I take them to church, there's a different feeling in them for the time being. That's something scary where someone is angry or have a different type of spirit in you. Like you're supposed to be happy.
You don't need a pastor, nigga. You need an exorcist.
You need an exorcist, yeah.
Man, you need you know how they sprinkle holy water, nigga. Here's a glass, drink it, nigga. No, I've never experienced it.
The power of Christ compels you.
Man, the craziest story, like that's kind of crazy. Like, it was wild at church. My mama told me this. It was when I used to live out in Arizona and shit. And she was like, I was crying. She's like, I was crying because the pastor was saying something. And it just hit me. She said she started crying.
Mhm.
Where makeup, she had mascara, right? She had like an
Yeah.
all white sweater, right? She said, I was crying, mascara fell and hit my sweater and it stained it up, right? She said, maybe like 15, 10 minutes went by. I looked down, the stain was gone.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, whoa. I was like, that's a beautiful thing. He with you.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. I was just like, whoa,
Yeah, it's a different feeling when God on your side. That's the best feeling in the world.
man,
Because
man.
I wouldn't want to be in this world and not have them. That'd be like the scariest thing, bro. Like that, you just don't, because you can't do anything on your own.
Nah, facts.
Yeah, you need the spirit. Some like example of not having that is when you need to be terrified.
Right.
Mhm.
Because, I love how people are like, you got to be logical. Like, I would break it down like, nigga, what is logic to you? Like,
Yeah,
logic is just shit you know. There's so much shit you don't know that's beneficial for you, but you don't know it. So when that happens, you got to be open to interpret it, and that's unlogical, nigga. So it's like you can't always be logical. Say
I
there's
know.
a like what they say when when the Bible says when Jesus comes back, it's like a bright light in the sky. If we saw a big bright light in the sky, we'd be like, "What the hell is that? Is that an alien?" We start thinking unlogical. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like there's not logic for a lot of the things we do. We kind of just make some shit up. Like even right now, as of today, gravity is not a law; it's a theory. It's just
yep,
we ain't got nothing better. We ain't got no other. You know what I'm saying? So we just we'll keep calling it gravity, even though it's not a proven law. They even have a measurement for everything. They teach you in school, even in physics. So you gotta even like a sniper, nigga, fucking make sure you gotta put gravity and all the curvature and the humidity. They still talk about it. But the thing, if you really think about it, if it's unproven, why is that a logical thought? So you want me to think? So in your mind, everything logic, everything science. But it's just crazy because if I really to break it down on you, it's not wise to be logical all the time. That's why it's called
yeah,
like you said, it's called faith. It's called believing because believing is something you don't see. And I feel like the more we keep these cell phones and all this technology, the more we have this, the less open we'll be to that. To where we're gonna be in a society where it's like if you can't identify it or have it logically explained, it's gonna corrupt us into the point they gonna make it up for us. They gonna have it already in their book. Like, oh, we call these aliens. And like when we are taught up in the church, nah, nigga, that's a demon. That ain't no alien, or it's an angel.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't. It's either one or the other. There's no. To me, I don't believe in aliens. I believe in angels and I believe in demons. You know what I'm
Me
saying? I don't
too.
great got a saucer or whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's the frequencies. A lot of the frequencies they put in people to have them think that way. You know what I mean? It's the frequency level. Because, like I always say, you're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight. They got it to people don't have faith. They don't even believe in faith. They so adamant on sight. Your eyes can deceive you.
Preach, preach.
It's like I compare 6ix9ine and Charleston White, right? Reason why? No, listen, because if you see a lot of the things 6ix9ine do, he's in Cuba right now, or was in Cuba, and he's giving money to the homeless and the poor and all that. That's good, and he be doing that a lot. He gives a lot of money to people in poverty and stuff like that. That's great, but your outside interior is the opposite of John Cabana and Angela White. The evil that you do is overshadowing the good that you do, because you do a lot of good things, but your con overwhelms your pros. So when we see you for this, we looking at you as that, and you still doing evil. You know what I mean? Had he just did a whole 360 and then it'd be a different story. Same with Charleston White. Charleston White, I know people aren't gonna like this. He says a lot of real shit.
A lot of
He
real
talks
shit.
about talks about the black community, the toxicity, and a lot of good stuff. But then he'll turn around and say fucking niggas 2-year-old daughter, and he'll rape her when she's older, whoopty-whoop, and just some evil shit. It's like, nigga, I can't go off what you say because your evil overshadows your good.
Damn. I never heard him say something that wicked, but I've heard him like go
Nigga,
off the scale.
yeah.
You're like, nigga, what do you like? I was just giving you applause when everyone's against you. Now I know why everyone's against you, type shit. So I know what you're talking about. But that certain content, that's crazy. Like that makes me even like to me when he
He'll
says,
say so. He's like bipolar, Charleston White, because he'll have moments in interviews where he's completely humble as fuck. He's saying the right stuff. And it's like your eyes can deceive you. And if I was the person on Faith, I'd be like, oh, he's a good person. But then I turn around and you putting a gun on someone that don't have nothing to do with what you talking about, or fuck King Von, and I don't care about them dead motherfuckers, and fuck they mamas too. I don't give a fuck about them bitches. They look at him, make them suck my dick. And I'm like, you talking about the dead nigga? That is an evil amongst evil. Then why are we talking about it in the first place? So that's the thing with 6ix9ine and Charleston White, where they evil overshadows the good.
yeah, they like,
and you have to watch out for stuff like that. Yeah,
I don't know about 6ix9ine. He probably is, but I think Charleston White's a puppet. He's here to confuse us. Like he's put here to confuse us. Like they say, we're gonna give you some real shit to speak, but then we're gonna give you some crazy ass shit to speak. So that way they don't even know what to believe in shit.
yeah.
Like you said, if you really in tune, like you said, to a frequency, you know what to take and pick out of his speech that okay can benefit you, and then block out the rest. Instead of treating him like a humanitarian and shit, like this nigga's a fucking, this guy's a voice of the streets. Nah, he not. He a voice, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? But he blowing up now. That nigga like literally got a career and success off of just talking, which is crazy.
It goes back to sometimes you got to take the message, but leave the messaging. Kanye West is a big factor of that. A lot of things Kanye West he be speaking on facts.
No, he's
not be one to be on. Yeah, he want to take his side, but then he don't do as bad as 6ix9ine and Charleston White, but then he do some crazy off the wall shit, saying like Hitler was right. Okay, nigga, hold on, wait. Hitler was right. You know. Or you mad about Kim Kardashian cheating on your ass when the bitch was a hoe when you met her type shit.
Well, someone said that his new wife, whatever, out there purchasing Balenciaga. I'm like, weren't you the one to tell us not to wear this shit? Now you out there buying shit. Like that shit is just why even move like that? It just tells us like what was that movie? Get Out? Like they got Get Out in his there. They fucked him up. They fucked him up. He trying to come out and tell the truth, and every time he crossed that line, they hit that control on him. Nigga, go back to doing what you're supposed to do. All right. I'm gonna go ahead, buy Balenciaga, and then he break free from that spell, whatever the hell he own. He's like, yo, George Bush doesn't like black people. And then they're like, nigga, what you talking about? Let's correct him. Trump is like my dad.
It's like, bro, white lives matter and stuff. Like, well, hold on, bro.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
like, what are you?
It's a risk being a genius. It feels like.
I'll tell you what though, he told us the truth. He said he's bipolar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he told us he's bipolar. Our problem is we thought that shit was a superpower. Like he tried to say, yeah, that's a superpower. No, it ain't. It ain't a superpower to be bipolar. You just two different thoughts. And your problem is you don't know which side to pick. You can't control shit. That's not a superpower. Power is control. And if you don't have control over something, that don't make it super.
That's right. So we got 7 minutes left, so 7 minutes will make 2 hours. What's your final thoughts on what you want to? Anything you want to get out?
Man, you know what I like to say, man? I would like to encourage people. So you know what? If there's someone in your community, your neighborhood, I would encourage you to just have a conversation next time you see them. I don't care if they watering their flowers or grilling or whatever. Or just I encourage people to become more active in their community, man. Like put down your phone, and while you doing this, try to build a relationship with God. I'm not trying to force you on nothing. I'm not trying to see this is how it is. I'm just trying. I want the best for everybody. And anyone who's going through it, I'm gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna make sure before I, say my prayers tonight, I pray for y'all that y'all get the strength and that y'all, find a way to make it through for another day. And I just want to. My main focus, man, is just for us to get back to being a human being instead of just being a human.
So that's a king right there. What you just did, that's a king answer. I like that message. Uh, Mine is something similar, but I would say like we in a time right now, man, where evil is tired of hiding. Evil is tired of hiding. I saw put the other day about what's it called, the Dalai Lama. I feel ignorant because I always thought that was a saying. I know that was a real person, but apparently it's some 80, 90-year-old Asian, Dalai Lama that's supposed to be most so righteous. He just went viral trying to tongue kiss a child in front of everybody, trying to, yeah, bro, the Dalai Lama.
I've heard about that nigga. He supposed to be like the Asian Pope.
hmm Apparently he's supposed to be the holy amongst holy, and you trying to tongue kiss a child. I want the black community to step up
Yeah.
because that comment I said right there is mostly for white folks and other races. I notice our black community don't really care about our kids getting touched, our kids getting molested. They try to support R. Kelly so bad. Like, oh, he just makes so good music. No, fuck that. The nigga's a sicko. He a sicko. I'm not saying kill him off or do this and that, but motherfucker apparently need help. We need to go back to protecting our kids, protecting our women, protecting our households again. Where to get to a point where we sacrificing children over fucking uh, the motherfucker who can sing and shit. I don't give a fuck if he sing like Jesus. Nigga, if you're sick, you're sick.
Just
And
like my bad, my bad.
go ahead.
I was gonna say this stems back to what we started out with the Tyler Perry, when
hmm
the mother was pimping out her daughter for a rich black man. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking about the child's feelings. They only thinking about the child's financial well being, because we brainwash them thinking that having success is
hmm
being a successful life, but not all success is good. It's all right to be a broke person. Look at Jesus. That nigga walked around in a robe. He never had nothing flashy. He did more miracles,
hmm
more work than anyone else on this earth. He didn't do it in a suit.
And we so quick to sell out our people for money.
Man,
Nipsey's murderer, shitty cuz Eric Holder did that shit for money. You took out a motherfucker who can change our entire culture and maybe change the world. He was 3 days away from having a meeting with the LAPD about coming together, where that could have changed. That could have been a chain reaction. You see LA doing it, then Sacramento does it, then Phoenix does it, then Dallas, Texas might do it, then Atlanta do. You know what I mean? Where you took out a powerful soul over evil,
I
over
didn't even
money, bro.
I didn't even know about that. It's crazy, but I always find out some more information when Nipsey was involved in. Every time like someone speaks about it, I didn't know about he was about to do some shit with the LAPD like that.
It was like 2 or 3 days away from doing it. They had a meeting on that following Tuesday. He died Sunday, March 31st, 2019.
Because I remember the one thing someone put me on game was I was talking about Dr. Sebi, like how eating right and stuff like that. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
guess who's gonna do a documentary on Dr. Sebi? Nipsey.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I'm like, bruh, like it just makes it like it makes it worse. I'm just like, man, like why, But then like some like you just gotta keep moving on. And maybe for us to put the limelight on it and these subjects for us, you know, to realize, yeah, this is important.
They don't know. They don't want us to have knowledge. They do not want us to be healthy,
No, they definitely don't want us to be healthy. That I know. You don't
and they
believe.
don't want unity.
Then tell people what the fuck's a chitlin. You know what I'm saying? And you tell me if that's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, I'd rather
And
I'd
I
rather
don't need to.
I'd rather eat mud and fucking sticks before I eat motherfucking chitlin.
Me too.
Don't get me wrong. I understand the story behind it. Like we had nothing, so we had to make do with what we had. I understand it, but there's so many other things you can give somebody that ain't gonna fucking poison them.
hmm
And this is where the brainwashing begins, though, right? You got people in this generation living now who could eat anything, and they're like, "Oh, nigga, I love chitlins." Why? Like, why would you? That's not slave food. Ain't our roots, nigga. That's how fucked up we are as a as a group. We believe the food we got fed as slaves is food to be holding down. No, it's not. Like we should be eating fruits and vegetables and food that has electrolytes in it so we can power ourselves. Like chitlins, yeah, we held it down. We made something that was shit. We made it good. I'll give us that prop for that, for taking something that was bad and making it a good thing. Yeah, heck yeah. But that don't mean we need to be holding it down and doing that to this day.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't glamorize chitlin. We shouldn't glamorize that shit. Fuck out of here.
I definitely agree, man.
But it's been a great
Oh,
pod.
yeah,
It's been a
it's been
great
great.
episode. We're gonna talk to you, my nigga. You know, and I'm glad to see you smiling after a troubled month, especially mentally. I understand the situation. I know may not many viewers or anyone who's watching might not know what I'm talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Blah blah. It's just I'll say it like this. It's just part of being a human being. We all got times, and I'm glad to see my nigga Prince smiling after the time he had to go through. And it was good to be back and the good to be vocally. And my last put, it was good to have God in the conversation.
Man, and that he needs to be more in the conversation. I appreciate that, bro, and I'm happy because you had a trouble month yourself, and I'm glad that you're smiling. And you're right, not a lot of viewers will know, but you family, so family gonna know before anybody else. I don't make it public because a lot of people like to pray on your downfall. You pray, you might ask people to pray to make the situation better. They might pray to go against you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So uh, yeah, I'm just letting God take over, and when I do that, he starts to make things better. I'm happy to be on here. We definitely gotta do this next week again. I'm happy to be on here, KIG. Happy to be back. We didn't need no guests, no special guests, because we knocked it out the park. But next week we're gonna work on getting guests and stuff like that again. I'm gonna look at them apps to see if I can add my sound effects and shit. Um, I missed the claps and the cheers and the laughs.
No, you already know. It was good to get down to earth with you.
Oh God, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you. Everyone that's watching, peace, love, and blessings. Everyone that's finna watch, God bless you. Like you said earlier, we're praying for you. We hope for a better community, a better environment, and more God in the conversation. That's what I should do next week. Put God in the conversation. That's gonna be the topic. But this is KIG. This is Prince Savage. This is the Knockout. We love you. Be blessed.
Have the best weekend.